Good evening, everyone. Today, my group is going to discuss about the electrical movement in the heart. How does the electrical signal move from cells to cells, and relate it to the depolarizations and the contraction of the cells. Before I start, I would like to briefly explain about the cardiac muscle cells. Actually, the cardiac muscle consists of individual cardiac muscle cells, branch and join neighboring cells end to end to create a complex network, and it is connected by the intercalated disc to work as a single functional organ. This is how the intercalated disc looks like, and it consists of desmosome and the gap junctions. They are very important in transmitting the electrical signal between cells. First, I would like to explain about the gap junction. The gap junction is actually a packed protein channel that permits intercellular passage of ion and small molecules. It helps in electrical signal transmission by direct transmissions of the depolarizing current from cell to cell across the chamber of the heart. And it also allows the heart muscle cells to contract almost simultaneously. And recently, scientists have found out that the gap junctions are encoded by multigene family known as the connexins. Then, how about the desmosome? The desmosome actually hold the adjacent cardiac muscle cells together during the muscle contraction, and its main function is to allow the force of contraction in one cell to be transmitted to the neighboring cell. The second important component in helping to transmitting the electrical signal move from cells to cells is the transverse tubule. The transverse tubule is also known as the T-tubules. It is actually the extension of the sarcolemma, which is the muscle cell membrane, and that penetrate into the center of the skeletal and cardiac muscle cells. How it helps in transmitting electrical signal is the transverse tubules allow the impulse to permeate the cell membrane and activate the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Transverse tubule act as a transmitter and receivers of the information during the process of conducting electrical impulse. How it works is by the L-type calcium ion current flowing across the T-tubule membranes provide a rapidly activating calcium ion influx that triggers the calcium ion release from the sarcoplasmic reticulum and hence cause the calcium induces calcium release.
Electrical movement in the heart. How does electrical signal move from cell to cell relate to the depolarization and contraction of the heart? At rest, no electrical activity taking place, thus cardiac cells are considered polarized. The cell membrane of the cardiac muscle cell separates different concentrations of ions such as sodium, potassium, calcium, and this is called the resting potential. There are relatively more sodium ions outside the neuron and more potassium ions inside that neuron at rest. Electrical impulses are generated by automaticity of specialized cardiac cells, which are the sinoatrial node (SA node) and atrioventricular node (AV node), located in the right atrium of the heart. The generated electrical impulse causes the ions to cross the cell membrane. The permeability of the membrane to sodium ions increases and there is a reduction in membrane's resting potential. This is known as depolarization. The movement of ions across the cell membrane through sodium, potassium, and calcium channels is the drive that causes contraction of the cardiac cells or muscle. Depolarization with corresponding contraction of myocardial muscle moves as a wave through the heart. Lastly, repolarization takes place when there is re-establishment of polarity, meaning that the cell membrane's potential returns to its resting potential.